Talking right now with Max Fischbach, the Carroll Tiger volleyball coach, coaching here tonight for the Panthers team at the Iowa Girls Coaches Association All Star Volleyball Classic. Max, a fun event. A lot of work goes into this, but talk about what this event means for you.
Well, it's always a great honor for the girls that get picked to come here, and they're great kids and good volleyball players, and we just have a blast. Keith and I do it, it's a lot of work to get to pull this together, and we got people like John Regline at the Graphic Edge who does a great job with the donations, the Pepsi bottlers, everybody in town seems to do a great job, the Carrollton Inn. They just do a great job helping everything out, and it makes our job a lot easier, but it is a lot of work to pull it off.
Talk about how this came to Carroll. Do you know the story on how this came to Carroll?
Well, I don't know exactly. I just know a couple, like Ellen Benega from Waterloo West, and who's the coach that was at Dyke that won all the titles. They decided we needed an all-star game. It kind of bounced around to different areas, and then John said he would kind of host it out here. And the state volleyball's on the east side of the state, so they wanted something on the west side, and John said he would do stuff, and it's grown every year and got a little bit bigger, and we try and figure out, we ask the kids what can we do better, and they give us some ideas, and we try and do those things.
How do you guys go about selecting who the players are going to be and who the coaches will be?
Well, we have nomination form that we send out to all the coaches in the state, and they nominate players. They make a highlight video and send it, and then there's probably about 20, 30 coaches. I don't, it's hard to remember. We meet in Ankeny at noon on a Sunday. 5 or 6 hours later, you come out with 32 kids, and then Bob has to call. Bob Fessler does, a great job with things, and he's got to call all those kids and make contact and get commitments from them to play, and then, then it's like, okay, now we need uniform sizes, we need all that stuff. And making contact with 32 girls and getting all their stuff in, that sometimes has to run it down. But, most of their coaches are really good at helping out because they've been here to watch kids play, and they like it, so they know what an honor it is for the girls.
Coach, how tough is it to even kind of whittle it down to 32 seniors?
It's a couple years ago when you had 16 Division I players, you're like, okay, there's 16 of them, because they were very good. But we have coaches from all areas of the state at that meeting, and we go over stuff and we look at video. We've got, there's some no-brainers when you come in here. You look at things like Jessie Sindlinger on our team tonight. She's kind of a no-brainer, she's a very good player, and so those are easy ones. Lindsay Schultz last year was the first, it's like, this is a no-brainer, Lindsay Schultz, So you've got some kids that stand out right away. They're great players, and those kind of are easy. But then when you start getting down there and you're now, all right, we've got, some years we have an overload, we have great middles, and so we take more middles, and, some years we're a little soft. This year our outsides were great, we're a little slower in the middles, but I don't know, it's a hard process. And then find, like, our libero was a great player, one of our outsides, and she never played libero before, and so we just said, hey, Ashley, she wanted to play. She did a great job tonight, what a back row player, and I was really impressed, and she's just a great kid. And you just kind of put people together, and then you try and make the team and make the parts fit. And like I said at the luncheon, there isn't a lot of coaching going on. It's like I told them I'd high-five them in and high-five them out, They were a pleasure to coach and a lot of fun.
It seems like it's a lot of work goes into this, but I gather in talking to you here and just seeing how you react with the kids out there, this is a lot of fun to get a chance to meet these top players every year, and you get a chance to get to know them personally and their coaches as well.
Yeah, and I never knew Megan Jackson from Woodward Granger or Matt Johnson or Deb Bond, great people. We had a great time at the luncheon day. We had a great time last night at practice. You get to meet new coaches. Hey, I'll run this drill, you run the next one. And it is a lot of fun, and the girls are great. It's like everything. All the drills work really well. Because you got 8 great players on both sides of the net. And sometimes it's hard to get a ball to go down, and so the drill goes long, and you're like, hey, it never goes this long. You guys, where's that girl that always hits it out of bounds or hits it in the net? There aren't any of them out there. So it was lots of fun. We had some great things happen in practice last night and this morning.
This is more, as you said, with practice last night and the banquet, this is more than just the one night here on Saturday night. This is kind of almost a 24 to 36 hour kind of an event for these kids, right?
When it started out, it was they'd come in the morning, they'd have a quick practice, they'd play, and then they were gone, and so we wanted to make it a better atmosphere. So when it moved to Carroll, they started having them come in, stay overnight. We had a practice last night from about 6, it was probably 6:45 to 8:30, about 8:20, and then we go back to the Carrollton. The Pizza Ranch did a great job with food for us last night. did a nice job with us. And then we have a pizza party, and the girls get to sit around, meet their teammates. The coaches get to talk, come in. We get to meet a lot of their parents, and have a good time. And then we get up and have practice again this morning. We kind of go through the rotations, I said we'll have 3 different lineups. We go fourth, we'll do a 4th lineup, So it's like everybody kind of get in and try and do things and serve. And it was a lot of fun. And then we have a great banquet where we honor the girls and the coaches, and then the Hall of Famers, and then but the Hall of Famers get inducted tonight, and that's always a really nice service for them.
For you, what was the honor like tonight, getting to coach?
It's a blast, last year they asked, and we kind of turned it down because when you host it's a lot of work. And I told Keith, I said if they asked you to do it, and make sure it's at Carroll High because there's way too much work when you're the host school. And so I said I'd do it this year, and I was really probably more nervous than I've ever been because you got really, it's like Dave Wims was yelling at me there, don't screw it up, I don't know how you can do that when they're that good, but it was a lot of fun once I calmed down. They were a blast to have.
Max, for the people that maybe aren't aware of this or don't know a lot about it, what's the one thing or 2 things maybe that you want people to really kind of learn about this event?
Well, I think if you're a young kid that plays volleyball, you should be here watching this because you get to see 32 of the best seniors in the state playing, and you can go, wow, I got a lot of work to do if I want to be a great player. And then I think the friendships the kids make when they come in, and they get kids from the west side of the state are meeting kids on the east side of the state, and they get together and they play so well together. It's just a lot of fun watching that stuff.
Well, Max, I appreciate you joining us here tonight. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Jeff.